If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Jesse Finney joining us. It has been a minute since I got to speak to this man. We spoke probably a couple of years ago at this point. We got Shamrock FC 321 coming up on Saturday. You can watch all the action on FITE TV. It's going to take place at the Ameristar Casino in Kansas City, Missouri. What's going on, Jesse?
Everything's good, man. Things are really busy, but the summer's wrapping up, and we got a fight card this weekend, and then all the kids go back to school, so kind of back to a little bit of a schedule. I think everybody's looking forward to. So can't wait to get to the fights this weekend and get things rolling.
Now, I consider myself a very good sport, a good sportsman at the same time, so allow me to congratulate your St. Louis Blues on a Stanley Cup victory over my Boston Bruins. It must be nice to finally put one over on us because it's been a minute.
Yes, we'll gladly accept the congratulations and thank you, because now you know how we feel like all the time when we play you guys. So, man, we deserved it. You know what? Boston's a great team as well. And to beat David Backus, who is obviously a former St. Louis Blue, first-class guy, it was almost like scripted perfectly for St. Louis. And you know what? We needed this. We needed this as a city, and we're a big sports city. And I'm obviously a MMA nut, but I'm also a huge sports nut in general. So I was a collegiate athlete, and so like my wife was a collegiate athlete. So everybody in our family is just big athletes in general. So we love our professional sports, and it doesn't matter if it's indoor soccer or if it's NHL hockey or whatever it may be. We love our sports.
Do you find it hard kind of keeping up with all the other sports, being in the MMA business? I know, you talked to me 15, 16 years ago. I'd never missed an inning of a Red Sox game or a period of a Bruins game or, anything that had to do with Boston sports. But I'd say probably the last 3 years or so, I try to keep up as much as I can, but it's definitely not the same fanmanship, so to speak, as it was, probably a decade or so ago. Do you find having the same difficulties, or are you able to kind of balance the two?
I think that my balance just comes with time, but it's also, I really do not watch a program on TV. And people ask me all the time about movies or TV shows or this or that. I don't watch anything. I really the only thing that I truly watch is maybe a documentary here or there or sports. That's the only thing I watch on TV. So I believe it or not, I'll catch some MMA in my off time if it's some guys that I know and it's fighting, but I'm entrenched in it, and I've been entrenched in it for 22 years with MMA. So I don't watch a ton of MMA anymore unless it's some personal friends that I know fighting, or some other great fight cards UFC or Bellator is putting on, or some things like that. So, but sports are my life. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm an avid sports nut.
Of course, we got the big event coming up on Saturday. We'll get into that in a second, especially talk about the main event and everything. But the last time I spoke to you was probably 2.5 years ago, and we were talking about how much Shamrock FC has grown over the years, because you guys have been around for almost a little over 20 years at this point. And one of the things that you said that always stuck out to me is it wasn't like a country club environment, but you made sure that when people came to a Shamrock FC event, it was, I guess, very classy compared to a lot of regional MMA promotions. You guys really roll out the red carpet for the fighters and the fans, and you guys are growing at a really solid rate the last time I spoke to you. So let's just say between 2.5 years ago to right now, what do you think the biggest difference is in your organization?
Well, thanks for the kind words, and thanks for remembering what I said. But I would say some things that have changed is, we're putting on, bigger and more quality fights long term. For us is from probably 2 years ago, we were still doing some smaller shows here and there. Now we're basically just doing anything that's probably 1,500 seats or bigger, and that's really it. And I'll say this, the same thing I said 2 years ago is, listen, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right, and we're going to do it first class. And anything we're going to do, we're going to do it right. We're going to do it first class, and we're not going to put our ego before our pocketbooks. And we're also going to make sure that it's quality entertainment and making memories. If it's making memories for the fans that are coming in, and making memories for the fighters that are coming in, or guys that have been in the UFC, they're are in Bellator that came back to us, or they are getting ready to go to it. We're going to make memories, and we're going to do it right, and they're going to be treated right. And that includes from the fans to the corner guys to the fighters. I was obviously a professional fighter myself, so I know how things like that really mean a lot to a lot of the fighters and the corner guys and the managers, and communication is key, and I think that we'll continue to keep doing what we're doing.
You guys have a relationship now with FITE TV. Your fights are being streamed on that. How did that come to be, and how have you been enjoying the relationship with FITE TV?
It's been good, man. It's been really good. I mean, we've been in constant communication for many years, almost work out on deals, and we were previously with Flow Combat, which was a good relationship as well. But FITE is just with their social network is just, it's unparalleled. It really is, and with all the big shows that they're doing, and it made sense for us at the right time. And for us, I don't look at something for a year down the road. I look for something 3 to 5 years down the road. And I think that with the growth that FITE's doing, and man, their app is amazing. I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world, but I can also tell you that for me, if I can get on FITE TV and get on their app and make it work the way it needs to work, then I know things are done pretty simple and done right. So they're first class, and they've been nothing but great to deal with.
One of the things I've noticed about you guys over the years is you do such a great job on social media in terms of, and it kills me that I can't remember his name right now, but whoever does the interviews and does the programming for you guys on social media really does a really good job. Can you tell me his name again? I totally forgot. I watched those videos.
Is it Jeremy Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy does a great job. You know what? It's funny because he was a good friend of mine before he started even working with us, and he was a guy that started with us for free as a cut man, probably, I want to say 8-10 years ago. Just kind of came along, and then, just became a good friend of mine as well. And then, slowly but surely told me this was actually like his dream job that he really wanted to do. And you know what? He continues to get better at all times. And, it doesn't matter with Jeremy if he's doing something on a smaller scale or a bigger scale. He is prepared, and he's prepared as a professional all the way around. He does everything in his life like that as well.
You being a former competitor, now you're running Shamrock FC. This is an interesting card coming up on Saturday. A lot of exciting fights. We're going to see some of the bigger prospects in that region try to make a move and make a name for themselves, and it begins on Saturday. Who are some of the guys and gals on this card that, from your perspective, being in the sport for so long, being in martial arts for so long, that you're just like, you know what? This person may have something here. We should keep an eye on them.
Sure. I mean, our main event is Grant Hartwig and Dylan Tolbert. I think if you look at both these guys, Dylan Tolbert is an up-and-comer, and Grant Hartwig's been a guy that's been around for 15, 17 years, been fighting for a long time, so Tolbert's got a lot to gain in this fight. So a female, Caitlin Radka, she's a beast, man. I mean, she's one of these that her husband, I think, is a brown belt under Derek Ripley. Derek Ripley is a black belt that's been around forever. They come from a very strong jiu-jitsu background. And Caitlin, she's been fighting for us for about a year now, and she's a superstar in the making. And I say that, I don't say that lightly, because the people that we've moved on, and I think this card coming up on Saturday night it's almost like a future for us. It's like all of our up and coming people that have worked their way up from the undercard to the main card, and now they're getting their chance, and it's their time to shine. We moved Bobby Volker on to Bellator, and we're putting some new stars out there. If you look at, Zach Busha, all these guys, Kelvin Tiller, who's fighting on the World Series, all the people that came through us and throughout all the years in Kansas City, we got a new crop. And, our new crop at our last one was Cody Peterson, is a new guy. He's fighting coming up in October in Kansas City as well. We got a bunch of new stars that we're getting to release, and some young up-and-coming studs. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, these are the cards. I mean, you and I were talking before this that, you look at, you go, okay, this is going to be subpar card. It's going to be an okay card. But you know what? If you look at it, these are the ones that you're like, well, son of a bitch. At the end of the night, you're like, wow, that exceeded my expectations. And, I like the underdogs. I'm one of these guys you were asking about earlier with watching so many fights or sports. I was the guy that I'd buy the pay-per-view for my friends and my family to watch, but I was always the one that I loved, the one that was free on Fox to see the undercard, because I'm always rooting for the underdog to get there. And this is pretty much our card on Saturday night.
Strikeforce, I used to love the challengers cards that they had. You'd have like the main cards on like Friday or Saturday night, and then they'd sprinkle in the challengers cards. And if you're a hardcore MMA fan, it was like a dream come true, because you got to see like the next crop. That's where like we found Daniel Cormier for the first time. Would you kind of compare it to this card to like a Strikeforce challengers card?
I really will. It's exactly what I would do. And you know what? If you look at it, like, where did Tyron Woodley start? Where did Daniel Cormier start? Where did Luke Rockhold start? I mean, I could go on and on about that. I mean, you look at Michael Chandler. Where did Michael Chandler start? Michael started on the undercard at Strikeforce. So, I mean, I could go on and on. You talk Strikeforce. Obviously, it's very near and dear to my heart, because, it's who I competed with. But Coker's a good friend of mine as well. So, but if you look at what they did, they developed their stars. And you know what? That's what we're trying to do, is develop our stars, man.
And, from the amateurs to the professionals, I feel like these fighters come in there, they just want to put on a show, and they want to make a name for themselves. And that's great to have a platform like that. And you guys just continue to be up and running and doing these great things. I know we have the card coming up on Saturday, but talk about some of the other cards you guys got coming up and how people can get tickets and get prepared for those cards.
You know what? I mean, I would tell you, like, even for tickets for Saturday night, there's probably less than 100 tickets left. You can get them at the door if you're there, but if not, you check us on FITE TV. I mean, really, that's really what we're pushing right now is FITE TV is our streaming deal and everything as far as pay-per-view. We're $19. We'll put on 12 solid fights for you guys. You guys will enjoy it. We come back September 6th. We're back in St. Louis at River City Casino in St. Louis, Missouri, which is great. So that's going to be a dynamite card. I don't know if we'll release the card. It's actually getting released later today, I think. And that's going to be a great card as well. We got, I could go on. We got Sean Scott. We've got Dakota Zimmerman on that card. I mean, there's a lot of people that have, been to Bellator, been in a lot of the other organizations that are right on that card as well. Then we go back in October, and we're going to have a really big main event in October for a contenders match, which with the winner of that will get a title shot. And then obviously with us, if you win our title, you get a 4-fight contract into Bellator, guaranteed. So it's not a one-off contract; it's a 4-fight deal. So that October card back in Kansas City is going to be amazing. So man, I can't wait. I mean, we're hitting our stride, and we're going to grow into another market. We've been doing this, like I said, for 22 years, 321 shows, and slow and steady. I mean, we're from the Midwest, man. I mean, we're not flashy like the East Coast guys out there in Boston, So I'm kidding. So, you know what? We are. We're grinders, and we keep doing what we're doing, and we're just keep doing what we're doing, but just trying to do it a little bit better each year, and keep going on. And next year we'll hopefully expand into another 1 or 2 markets, and keep doing what we're doing, but just doing it better on a bigger scale.
When you get to 321 shows like you're going to do on Saturday, do those round numbers stick out? Like, obviously, when you get to 100, that's huge. 200 is pretty cool, too. 300, I don't know if it has the same luster. Does it still... I mean, I think every card has some sort of meaning to it, but when you start hitting those round numbers, does it mean more and more to you that you've gone this long?
You know what's funny is I think it was the last card. It was the last card. Last 2 cards, I think it was. Listen, I mean, anybody will tell you this, like, sometimes you get your 321, 300, whatever, 300, 350, whatever it may be. You have your peaks and your valleys. And for me, like the last 2 shows, and I'm not kidding when I say this, I'm like, man, like our last card in July, which was in St. Charles, Missouri, was just, it was dynamite. We had some of the best. I don't know if you saw the highlight reels of the knockouts of like kickboxing. We had 2 kickboxing matches on there, or 3. And it was just like, it was one of the best. And look, I mean, my stepdad was a kickboxer. I was a kickboxer. So kickboxing near and dear to my heart. But I'll tell you, we had probably one of the best kickboxing fights I've ever seen in my life. And I'm rambling here, but so the last 2 shows, right before the show, I was like, you get in the grind of the June and July and the August. I'm just being honest. It's a grind, man. You got kids are out for summer. I was so like amped up from before the show. I'm like, this is why I do what I do. I love it. Like, I mean, I love it. Like the grind, getting to it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but when you get there, it's like, yes, now I know what I do, and I love it. Like truly, I love it. I love it when you get there, and it's amazing, and you feel the energy, and I give all the credit to my team that puts that all together, and I get the credit because I have the C and the E and the O behind my name, but these guys are the ones that are the grinders that make it all happen, and I couldn't do it without my team, and obviously for 22 years, man. I mean, Rob Doniker's been with me for 22, Jeremy's been with me for 10. I mean, I could go all these guys. Mike Green, who's running backstage now for us, he's probably been with us 16, 17 years, was a fighter. We try to promote from within. When guys are done fighting, we try to say, hey, listen, do you want to stick with the company? Is there something you'd like to do? We brought on Adam Meredith here recently, who's doing a lot of social media stuff. So we try to promote from within, and these guys can still stick in the fight game. And you know what? Once you get in the fight game, you're stuck. I mean, if you get the itch and you get, my stepdad was in it when I was 8 years old, and I traveled driving in a van around the Midwest with him for fighters, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. And then all these fighters, they leave and they come back and they're like, well, what am I going to do? Well, that's their identity. You know what? And you lose your identity, you're a problem. You're in trouble. And these guys, same as me. Like, I mean, I get the grind every once in a while, but man, let me tell you something. When you get to the fight card, there's nothing like it.
When you love what you do, it's not work, right?
It's true, man. I mean, and it's the honest God's truth. I mean, like, look, I mean, today, just for example, we needed more tickets for September. We're selling too well. Well, everyone's in the office. I'm like, hey, I'll go pick up tickets and drive to the casino and BS with the guys. And like, who gets to do that? These guys in the casino see me in sweats and a t-shirt from getting done sweating and working out, and they're like, we don't ever see you like this. I'm like, listen, the way we work in the office a lot of times, and then you guys get to see us in fancy suits. So it's like, we're normal people, and you know what? We love what we do, man. I mean, it's, hey, there's times where it's really tough and stressful when you lose a match a couple days before a card, or but at the same time, I mean, man, listen, we're working the fight business. There's guys out there. My real father was a carpenter, man. He was leaving at 4 a.m. in the freezing cold in coveralls. I remember seeing him thinking, I'll never do that shit. Never. I'll do anything except to have to work like that. And, it's I'm blessed to do what I do.
You got me all fired up, Jesse. I'm ready to take on the rest of this day
Yeah,
now.
too.
Unbelievable. You got me all fired up now. I'm excited, man. And we look forward to Saturday. Love what you guys have been doing over the last couple of years since you got on my radar. Shamrock FC 321 coming up on Saturday on FITE TV. Jesse, before we let you go, man, let the folks know where they can follow along with you on social media. Anything else you want to get off your chest? The floor is yours, man.
Floor is mine, man. No. You can find me on Facebook personally. I think it's Jay. You have to help me out here on my Twitter. I'm not real good with my Twitter. Jeremy Johnson helps me out with that a little bit too. So if you can help me repeat that, maybe put it down there somewhere. But I don't know. I don't have Instagram either. But Shamrock does. Shamrock FC does, and so does Finney's MMA. And you can always find me on Facebook personally. And listen, I really enjoy to interact with fans. So please reach out, and hopefully we can become friends over the internet.
Congratulations on all the success, man. Continued success for you. Look forward to Saturday on FITE TV, and thanks for taking some time, man, and congratulations to the Blues once again.
Thanks, Lapdale. I appreciate it. Keep up with all the good work. I'm super proud of you, man. Take care.
Appreciate it, man.
Right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.